organizing this nice meeting. I mean, we have everything. We have enlightening talks. We have good food, nice landscape. So we have all the ingredients for a good conference. In a conference like this 3 years ago, which was also held by Terena in Zurich, Switzerland, I was introduced for the first time to OpenCast community and the Matterhorn project. It was there that I met two senior developers of Matterhorn, Christopher Brooks from Canada, Saskatchewan University, in charge of the capture agent of the Matterhorn project, and also Markus Ketro from Osnabrück University. He was in charge by that time of the player. During my presentation, I will talk a few more words about this project, which is end-to-end video production for the academy. In this very same meeting, we talk about gathering survey results from our institutions, namely Tel Aviv University, Osnabrück, and Saskatchewan universities, on students' perceptions, expectations, behaviors regarding online learning, lecture recording. We put survey results from our institution in a paper published in ED Media 2010. And my talk today will be about this, and I will bring some of the findings that we published there in this talk. Well, I will start with a short introduction, assuming all of you are very much familiar with e-learning, so I will keep it very brief. Then I will go over the three homegrown lecture systems that we are using in our institution, so you will have some idea what was the learning environment while we do our surveys. Then, of course, I will bring some results, and then I will end my talk with conclusions and some future work that hopefully we are planning to do. So, I'm sure all of us are very aware to the need of being constantly update in new work procedures and technologies in our work, and not only in our profession. Almost in any profession, you need to learn all the time because you are constantly meeting new technologies. This makes all of us sort of lifelong learners. It's predicted that most of the people during their work career will change a few times at least workplaces, even profession. Each such a transition will require a lot of studying and learning. The only visible solution at the horizon to meet such a large growth, large demand on learning and studying seems to be e-learning. Not only that e-learning can meet such a massive demand for learning, it can also keep the learning customized to different learner profiles and learner needs. Well, at my work at Tel Aviv University, dealing with e-learning and supporting face-to-face learning by lecture recordings, quite often I find myself in the position of door-to-door salesman, trying to market e-learning or lecture recording to professors, deans. And believe me, when they come to refuse this, they can come up with very creative arguments. In order to be successful in my mission to marketing, to talk them into accepting their recording, their lecture recording, I need to know their arguments against, and of course I need to come with very good arguments why they should accept their classes to be recorded. Well, one of the best resources for such arguments are the surveys that we do on this topic, on students' perceptions, expectations, and behavior regarding e-learning or face-to-face supporting lecture recording. That's why we are doing these lecture recordings, and I will go on talking about this, and of course, I will also briefly introduce you the 3 recording systems that are in use in our universities, so you can have some idea what is the environment of this e-learning. I will start with Tel Aviv University capture recording system, which we call it Capturer. In this system, we combine together 2 inputs, the video image of the lecturer and his desktop activity, which is VGA signal. We combine these signals on the flight at the time of the recording in a single stream, so it's very easy then to manipulate, to transcode it to any other format and to webcast and use any dissemination platform. The basic technology is Microsoft, but as I told you, it can be converted to any technology. The recording process is manual. We have a student which has a position for this, sitting behind the camera and making all the recording. The gear are mobile. We move it from one classroom to the other classroom as needed. The second system is called Virtual Presenter by Osnabrück. Here also, they have 2 inputs, but they kept separate, so the user at the end can manipulate the streams. The recording lecture is totally automatic. They don't have any operator, camera operator, and the solution is based open source. The last system is Recollect by Saskatchewan University. Here they have 2 video inputs and 1 VGA. The rationale behind is that you have a camera aimed to the lecturer and the other camera aimed to the audience, in this case the students. So when the students ask questions, they interact with the class, they are recorded as well. They use image recognition for segmentation to detect the slide size and make the necessary segmentation later on. Okay, I will, as I promised, I will say a few words about Matterhorn. Tel Aviv University is one of the early adopters of this project. Matterhorn is a free open source platform to support the management of educational audio and video content. The adopting institutions will use Matterhorn mainly for produce lecture recordings, manage existing video, to serve designated distribution channels, provide user interface to engage students with educational videos, and the version 1.3 is recently released. We are using now this release. It's quite stable. Well, our personal impression of this system, that it is very futuristic, has fantastic features, it's developing good, has a good community supporting. If you post a question, probably you will get some answer very fast, maybe in the same day, but has some disadvantages. For a guy like me who is Microsoft Windows user, it's quite problematic to install it. You need to have very basic knowledge in Linux, Ubuntu, know how to handle things on a command line, and it is not that simple to install it and to maintain it. So if you don't have this kind of ability, it can be problematic. I will talk a few more slides on our system in Tel Aviv University, simply because I know this system better than others. I work with this system. What we do is, as I said before, we gather 2 inputs, actually 3, if we say that the video audio is separated. So we have, as you can see here, at the left side of the frame, this is a video of the lecturer. Actually, we have this piece of software that we can do without it. I mean, it is only to make the life easier, but actually you can use 3 different softwares: VLC for manipulating the video or displaying the video, VNC to get an instance of lecturer's computer, and Microsoft Encoder to record and webcast the both signals. You can do it without any software as I'm demonstrating now, but it is much easier to manipulate the recording using this software. So we can choose between USB camera, FireWire camera, and analog video connected to the computer at the left side. At the right side, we can get an instance of the lecture's computer either by using VNC or a hardware solution by FIFAN. They both work very good. Of course, we have some manipulation options that we can switch the slide, the position of the windows and the size. I don't have much time, and I don't think that is much interesting. I can also show you that it can be disseminated using YouTube at the same format that you have the VGA signal and video signal side by side. It is compatible or can be compatible with any handheld device, but I will also skip this demo. I will briefly tell you how the layout of the recording is done at the classroom. You have the lecturer, you have a screen, a projector screen, beamer. Then we come to the classroom with some mobile kit, which is actually a regular laptop, a camera, which is connected by FireWire. We connect everything. Then we get an instance of the lecture computer by VNC. Then we have a window displaying the video from the camera. Then we operate the encoding software. Altogether, we grab a section of the screen, and at the end, we have a file including the video and audio signals. Very, very stupid and simple. We have another version of this, which I will demonstrate in a minute. In this version, you can open your computer, you can use your webcam or external camera, you can run a PowerPoint presentation, initiate the encoding software, and here, once again, you have a rich media file. It is a very convenient solution. Let's say one of the use cases, if you are a researcher, you would like, you publish some paper. Most of the online journals now are requesting a nice video describing your paper, your work. So you can use this method. Just sit behind your computer, you run your PowerPoint presentation, you use your webcam, you say a few words, you have a short processing, almost just to cut the end of the beginning, to trim it, and then you have a rich media file. Well, let's demonstrate it for a while, so you can see it is very simple, and this way I would like you to take something with you home from my talk, maybe something that you would like to do at your free time upon your needs. So, here I can activate my webcam. Oh, so I will see the lighting is worst, but never mind. Then I will open a PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So I will run now the PowerPoint presentation in a kiosk mode. So what we have now is my video and PowerPoint presentation. The last thing to do is just to activate the encoding software. Let's bring it here. The only reason that I'm working like this is that the projector doesn't support greater resolution. I will start encoding, and I will minimize this window. So now everything is done. I have many branding options, including putting banners at the bottom side, change the banners. I can switch between the windows if I want video to be on the right side or on the left side. I can make full screen video, and so on. Well, that's enough, I think. Let's quit this software and stop the encoding process, and let's go see what we got out of this. Okay, et voila. We have rich media presentation done in a moment, almost no proprietary software. If you have Windows license, then you are good. And in a minute, you have a file that you can upload it to YouTube and send the link to the journal or your colleague and whatever you like. Okay, that was a short demonstration. Hope it can help you. Let's go back. Oh, I used to have some presentation open. I probably close it. Let's go back to the last slide. Okay, we were here. Run the presentation. Wow. Okay, now it's time to go through the study results. I will start again with dataset from Tel Aviv University. We are talking about introduction to surgery clerkship. We are talking about also students' fourth year of medicine school in Tel Aviv University. The survey was on a class of 76 students, but only 50 of them answered the surveys. The course is very basic and important course. Okay, and the students need to pass this course and pass an exam in order to certify, at least theoretically, to go and start working at the hospitals. Otherwise, they can't. Until last 3 years, or until recently, 3 years from now, they took this course face-to-face, but then we converted to be fully online. We added a lot of materials, quizzes, and everything. And since then, students are taking this course fully online. So let's go to the results of this survey. Students were asked what are their preferred online resources, what were the most useful resources for them to learn. At the first place, the most rated was the quizzes, and then the video, PowerPoint presentation, form, chat. Those are all the resources available for the students. For us, it was a little bit, a little bit surprising because we were expecting the video to be on the first place, but then we understand that students has been told that the questions at the final exam are going to be taken from the quizzes in the fully online course. So this explains why the students heavily depended or made the quizzes. The second question, or second data from the results of Tel Aviv, was about the overall hours students were using the online. The original course was made of, when it was face-to-face, 10 lectures, an hour each. And students reported that they, most of them, actually more than 75% of them, use these resources over 11 up to 15 hours. The next data is about the time of the day and night the students access to this content, online content. This data is taken from the LMS. We are using Moodle as learning management system. And we took the logs, access logs of the students, and not only for this, from this one course, but at that time there were 11 courses available. We aggregated all the data about their access logs, and in the results we can see that the students make use of e-learning almost any time of day, excluding a few hours very, very early in the morning. So as we think, e-learning is anytime, anywhere. The last data from Tel Aviv University is about their preferred learning configuration. We asked the students whether they would like to learn face-to-face, traditional frontally, or maybe face-to-face supported with the video recording, or maybe only video, or fully online, as they took this course, which is video recording, PowerPoint presentation, some transcription of the course, and additional supporting material, but no face-to-face. The results are that most of the students preferred fully online, or at some extent using e-learning, and only very, very few of them, around 10%, even less than 10%, wanted to learn face-to-face. There is many reasons for this. Most of the students They need to work. Living is hard, tough in Israel, and they have many constraints, and this kind of study suits them best. I would like to bring some update to these results from recent year. You can see here three rows. At the upper one, we see the results of three questions as it was on the night learning year 2009 up to 2010. It's the same year. We have the year in between. As you can see, as we talked before, you have fully online about 57%, and after 2 years, the ratio is pretty much the same. If you look at the e-learning at some extent, I mean fully online and video-supported learning, the numbers are pretty much the same. There is a little bit more demand to face-to-face than the first time, but I don't think it's something significant at this moment. But we are looking, still keeping aggregating the data, so we can maybe see if there's some tendency later on. The other thing that we are monitoring now, we have a New York medicine program in Tel Aviv University, which is exclusively for students coming from United States. No Israeli students are attending this program. So we would like to see if they have some different behavior learning the same content in Tel Aviv University. There is some differences. As you can see here, they less want to learn fully online. We really don't know the reason yet, but it is not significant because this data is only from 1 year data. We are monitoring this, and hopefully we will have more significant data soon. Okay, let's go to the next data set, which is from Osnabrück University, Germany. And here we are talking about a course in which attend 200 students. It's about computer sciences. And once again, the questions were about usage of the video by the students. Okay, once again, also here, the question was how they rate their online learning resources. And we can see here that the most preferred learning resources was lecture transcription. And by lecture transcription, they mean using a book written by the course lecturer. It's actually the notes of the lecturer about his course published as a book or something like this. Then we have lecture recordings. We have notes that students made by themselves and additional content. As you can see here, the most preferable resource was the lecture transcription, and lecture recordings with lecture transcription made the need for self-notes of the students less relevant, which means that if you are a student and you are attending in a course which is recorded, video recorded, and you have the book, then you don't need to take notes, which gives you much more time to be in full attention to the lecturer. They also make some monitoring on weekly recording usage, and they find out that the students in Osnabrück, they don't see the episode as a whole. They just watch segments. And this finding is in contradiction somehow with our findings in Tel Aviv University. We found in Tel Aviv University that students mostly watch the whole episode. And we think the possible explanation to this thing is that in Tel Aviv University, as it is now, there are no face-to-face lectures. So the students first time are exposed to the content on the recorded lecture, so they need to watch it whole. And in Osnabrück, they are already watch or been in live class, and they use the lecture recordings maybe to get ready to exam or to try to understand better some segments they didn't understand on the lecture. The last data set from Osnabrück University is something that can give us a good argument when we are trying to marketing video recordings. Some of the arguments by the lecturers against being recorded is something like, well, if my lecture is recorded, everybody will stay home, they will watch the recordings, and they won't come to the class. So I will need to address almost empty classroom, and I wouldn't like to do this. But when we ask the students, or actually in Osnabrück, they ask the students whether they prefer to learn by recorded lectures or being in the classroom, you can see that from the analyzing of the data set that the students find the lecture recording sufficient. They are able to learn from the recordings, but they will prefer wherever is available to be at the classroom and learn face-to-face. Okay, the last survey results is from Saskatchewan University, and they checked if privacy is an issue in lecture recording. What they mean is that if you are a student and you are participating in a classroom which you know that it is recorded, would you be hesitate to ask questions, to interact, to participate in this case? The study was made in 80 students participant in 2 courses. In one course, there was only one camera aimed to the lecturer, and on the other course, there were 2 cameras, one aimed to the lecturer, and in the second one, in the frame of the second one, there was also the students, so they could record the interaction of the students and their questions. And if we go and analyze their answers, we can see that it is indeed some issue for some of the people to ask questions when they are recorded. But this is the minority of the people. For the most of the students, this is not really a big issue. Okay, now I would like to end my talk with some conclusions and some thoughts for future work. We found out that, we knew from the beginning, but we found out that there's a problem of validity to make cross-institutional studies based on homegrown systems. If the systems are different, then it is very hard to compare the results. So maybe Matterhorn can help in this issue. I mean, if Matterhorn will be deployed in very large scale, as for example Moodle, then it will be more relevant to compare results from different institutions using the same system. And of course, we find out that there is a need for really serious critical need analysis of the way that students are using online materials. One more point is that if we would like to promote lecture recording, we can leverage the demand of students. I mean, it is more effective to send the students to the lecturer to ask them to be recorded than some staff member going and asking the lecturers. For them, the students are more important than administrative staff. So when the students go to the lecturer and say for us it's important that this lecture will be recorded, it's different. We find out really that the 3 homegrown systems, they were planned and initiated some 7 years ago with no knowledge of each other. But when we judge the features of the 3 systems, they are very, very similar. The initial conclusion from this similarity is that the students have similar needs, no matter where they are studying. I mean, they need the same functions, segmentation, video, VGA signal, and so on. We found also, as I told before, there is a difference in usage of the recorded video depending on the context. If you are learning face-to-face and the video is supporting this face-to-face traditional learning, you use it differently if it is on a fully online course and you are exposing yourself for the first time to this content. The thoughts for future studies, we would like to have data from, let's say, 5 years of face-to-face course, course taking face-to-face, to see the achievements of the students. Then, when this course is transformed to fully online learning method, then again to aggregate all the data of the surveys and the achievements of the students, and to compare these two long-term achievements with each other, and maybe this way we can have some significant conclusions whether if there is a difference when you learn face-to-face or traditional. Of course, it depends subject and everything, but it can give us some clue if there is some significant difference when you learn something face-to-face or fully online. Of course, for us, it will be also very important to know the other side, the teachers, how do they feel about e-learning and how they behave regarding e-learning. Well, I would like to finish by thanking, of course, Markus from Osnabrück University and Chris from Saskatchewan University, Mr. Asher Rotkop from Tel Aviv University, who is Deputy General Manager and IT department, Head of IT department, and my colleague Eyal, which works with me. And of course, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Any questions?
Actually, can I have the mic? Okay. Very, very, very interesting stuff, and very much to say and to show, and not enough time. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, so we cannot take any questions, but you can, of course, speak to Jack after this session. Once again, we would like to thank you for this very interesting presentation.